We're putting Tuesday to bed pretty late. Monday? Today's Monday. I don't even know. It's 12:30 a.m. Mike just left. Came over for some fish and mashed potatoes and bread for dinner. Then we played some GTA. Just got the kitchen cleaned up. So, big push on Nate's car today. Made good progress there. In that the rest of the suspension's assembled. We had to wait on some nuts to come in that were like 4 days. I don't know why it takes 4 days to get nuts for stabilizer links. They're locking nuts. Can you reuse them? Yes. Should you? No. So those are new. We got the engine started and running today, which is great. So we pulled the fuel pump fuse in the back, but I'm thinking if this is anything like the E39, the diagram's wrong or there's something else that it goes to when that fuse isn't there, and it's still gonna pump fuel. So we disconnected the fuel feed line and then put a piece of just scrap fuel hose on the feed pipe and shoved that in a bottle, and sure enough, it starts pumping. So good thing we did that, otherwise it would have fired. But we built up some oil pressure, and you don't get an oil pressure light on the E60 cluster because it's an iDrive message, because that makes sense. But we let it crank for a while, then hooked everything back up, put the fuse back. Not that it made a difference, but got it started. We had 22 codes. A lot of those were just from being unplugged and sitting around and on the low battery for a day or two, things like that. But we got it started. Sounds good. Did the Vanos bleeding procedure, which takes 18 minutes in IMPA, revs it up. It has to be at like 70 degrees Celsius coolant temperature, so close to operating temperature. And then it revs up to 1500 RPM for 10 seconds, and you hear a bunch of noise. It does some stuff, then it goes back to idle for a minute, and then back up to 1500. It was a long process, but that's done. The codes that are remaining are simply for things that are unplugged, like the MAFs. And then we do have a steering angle sensor code as well. Probably just needs to be recalibrated since we had the rack out and the servo unplugged, things like that. So tomorrow we torque the suspension at ride height. We might get the exhaust back on, new exhaust bushings. We've been waiting on that because they're up too high to access right now. So when we pull the exhaust system back down, we'll do that. And Nate, we're almost there. I know it's taken a long time, but we're very close. Checked the 540 fluids today, added a touch of oil just to top things up. So far so good, no codes, that's excellent. And then the fuel system car that we did, that carbon black 2005, unfortunately is back. And that's because his fuel tank is reading optimistically. So we found out that the level sensor on the left, we pulled up the digital values. Customer states there's 1 gallon of fuel in the car. He was way off. It was 0.5 liters. So it was pretty much empty. But the left side of the tank was reading 11 liters. So we opened up that side, and sure enough, the float had gotten caught on the Venturi hose, and that's my fault. The way I put that back in, I was as careful as I could be, but sometimes by the time you seat the fuel level sender in there, you can no longer see the float, so you're going by feel. So we got that fixed. Now it's reading 0. What we'll be able to do tomorrow is take it over to the gas station, Chevron, per his request, for whatever reason, and we'll pull up those digital values on test 6, start filling the tank. We should see the right side reach about half, which is 34 liters or so, and then it'll start spilling over the saddle, over the drive shaft into the left side of the tank, and we'll see those levels start to creep up. From there, short of driving the car 300 or 400 miles to empty the tank, he's just gonna have to drive it and do it himself and make sure that the gauges fall as they should. But if they go up as they should, they'll come down as they should. It'll be fine. That's the first time we've had problems there. So we took in another car today as well. Customer states engine and or transmission are bad. 2002 525IA titanium silver black sport interior. Many modifications. Tomorrow we'll get that up in the air and see what the heck's going on with that. All we see right now is a load of oil all over the back. He said he had a bunch of smoke coming out the back when something happened, and the car is slow to go in gear. Put it in reverse, it does nothing for 5 seconds, and then reverse hooks up. So it probably blew a transmission line and there's not adequate fluid pressure. That's my thought, but we'll get under there tomorrow and see what's up. So that's all I got for today. Tomorrow's Tuesday the 6th already. We'll talk then.